Thanks so much for joining us on Aviation this week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi, and this week we're talking airport concessioning. When a government with lean resources thinks of other ways to fund and provide social amenities to its citizenry, concessioning may be the way to go, and that's exactly what's on the mind of Nigeria's federal government. The 4 major international airports in the country is where the experiment will begin. On the other hand, staff of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria are indeed apprehensive over these plans and how it will play out, considering what befell the workers of the defunct Nigeria Airways. That's our subject of interest this week, and we'll begin right away.
Over the next 20 years, Africa has been projected to become one of the fastest growing aviation regions, with annual expansion averaging nearly 5%. This opens up incredible economic opportunities for the continent's 54 nations. By transporting some 70 million passengers annually, aviation already supports 6.9 million jobs and about $80 billion of economic activity on the African continent. This economic activity through air travel ensures the connection of people through airports. Air gateways therefore remain a necessary infrastructure. Here in Nigeria, the issue of concessioning airports is once more on the burner. But before now, the year 2012 recorded a shift in the outlook of airports.
We have built...
The then Aviation Minister, Stella Odua, took on the challenge of remodeling the nation's terminals. The exercise, designed in phases, centered on the refurbishment of 11 airports. Starting with the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, the terminal was expanded on the D and E wings and extended a few meters forward. The General Aviation Terminal in Lagos also received a facelift. The Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja was also not left out. Kano, Benin and Ilorin airports, as well as the Akano Ibiam International Airport in Enugu State, were also retouched. The renovation and upgrade projects were basically on the redesign of the exterior facades of the building to give them a modern look. Expansion of the footprint of some of the buildings to create additional capacity, circulation space, and the opportunity for increased commercial offerings. The federal government also signed a $500 million loan agreement with China for the construction of 4 international airport terminals in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano. At the moment, the Lagos terminal has reached an advanced stage. Now, all of these efforts and financial resources appear to have gone down the drain. The federal government has gone ahead to inaugurate 2 committees to provide direction and steer the course of public-private partnership project concessions for the sector. These committees are expected to kickstart the concession process for the nation's major airports. According to IATA, privatizing airports should not be viewed as a short-term solution to a government's budgetary problems. It must be seen as part of a long-term vision for economic development, and privatization should not only benefit the airport operators and the government, it must also benefit the public, travelers, and airline customers.
To give an insight to the federal government's plan, the Minister of State for Aviation, Captain Hadi Sirika, was in Lagos, and here is what he had to say about government's plans.
We cannot grow when our airports are in their present state. There's no way. You can't create a hub out of Murtala Mohammed Airport or Nnamdi Azikiwe as they are, or Port Harcourt or Kano. Because some of the recent wide-bodied, high-capacity airplanes that are flying around the world, like A380 and the newer version of 777, etc., are just too sophisticated and too large to be handled and too complex to be handled by our airports at the moment, the way they are. And because the atmosphere within these airports are not anything to write home about, they are not the ideal, it is extremely difficult for us to attract passengers to create the necessary hub. Today we are doing 15 million passengers per annum. We believe with the right things in place, Nigeria has the potential of doing 70 to 100 million passengers within 5 years, easy. I remember when I used to go to UK frequently. I don't go by BA, I go by KLM. And the only reason is because I want to transit through Schiphol Airport with a fantastic duty-free, with spa and restaurants, an environment that you don't want to go away from. I always make sure that I have some reserve change for me to come and meander around that beautiful airport at a time to pick one or two items and come home. So I suffer this. I mean, people feel that why would you have to go and transit and come home rather than you can just enter and 7 hours you are in Lagos. And you have to go through because I enjoy the environment. And research has shown that about 40% of passengers like to transit through fantastic airports. Dubai is a classical example. The duty free in Dubai is 1.2 billion US dollars. Just because I remembered Dr. Idris, I want to buy him a pen or I want to buy him a bottle of perfume. $1.2 billion. You can't beat that. And people love to go through Dubai as a hub. And most of them are not ending their journeys in Dubai. They're only passing through. So we must concession. It's the only way. I can't think of any other way. And this concession we have shown around the world. Go to Queen Alia Airport in Jordan, for example, or the Hamad Airport I just quoted. In 24 months, you can get a brand new, huge terminal that can take 50 million people with a new runway, with all of the additives, with shopping malls there, with cinemas, with spa, with gym, with squash courts, everything. We've seen it, and it's in 24 months, and people will transit nicely. You'll attract all of the traffic. Imagine you from 15 million in Nigeria as passengers, and Lagos alone will be doing 50 million. Those 50 million, if you give them an average of $1,000 that they will spend, how much is that? The income. I like to think of other ways of bringing money. And sure, aviation is a money spinner, but you have to get it right. You have to do the things that are correct. So you must be able to establish that MRO. I know of a shop that is doing only 737, and they posted a profit of $20 million US dollars. And today you want to go to Ethiopia to maintain your aircraft, they'll give you a long list. You'll be number 31 or so, and you have to wait. It's a shame that we cannot maintain anything in Nigeria. So we do, but it's all private sector driven.
When we return, an aviation union leader on his part speaks on why concessioning may not be the best option.